Tittlemouse.
No, what are you reading?
I'm reading The Tale of Mrs. Tittlemouse by Beatrix Potter in 1910.
1910?
Yeah.
A long time ago. Okay.
Once upon a time there was a woman mouse, and her name was Mrs. Tittlemouse. She lived in a bank under a hedge. Such a funny house. There were yards and yards of sandy passages leading to storerooms and nut cellars and seed cellars, all amongst the roots of the hedge. There's a kitchen, a parlor, a pantry, and a larder. There's also Miss Tittlemouse's bedroom, where she slept in a little box bed. Mrs. Tittlemouse was a most terribly tidy, particular little mouse, always sweeping and dusting the soft sandy floors. Sometimes a beetle lost its way in the passages. Shush, 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 little dirty feet, said Mrs. Tittlemouse, clattering her dustpan. And one day a little warm woman ran up and down in a red spotty cloak. Your house is on fire, my ladybird. Fly away home to your children. Another day, a big fat spider came in to shelter from the rain. Big pardon, is not Miss Moffat. Go away, you bold bad spider, leaving ends of cobweb all over my nice clean house. She bundled the spider out at a window. He let himself down the hedge with a long, thin bit of string. Mrs. Tittlemouse went on her way to a distant storeroom to fetch cherry stones and thistledown for dinner. All around the passage she sniffed and looked at the floor. I smell a smell of honey as the cow slips outside in the hedge. I am sure I can see the marks of little dirty feet. Suddenly, around the corner shrieked Babbity Bumble. Ziz, 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 said the bumblebee. Mrs. Tittlemouse looked at her severely. She wished that she had a broom. Good day, Babbity Bumble. I should be like to buy some beeswax, but what are you doing down here? Why do you always come in at a window and say ziz, biz, biz? Miss Tittlemouse began to get cross. Ziz, whiz, whiz, replied Babbity Bumble in a peevish squeak. She sidled down a passage and disappeared into a storeroom that had been used for acorns. Mrs. Tittlemouse had eaten the acorns before Christmas. The storeroom ought to have been empty, but it was full of untidy, dry moss. Mrs. Tittlemouse began to pull out the moss. 3 or 4 other bees put their heads out and buzzed fiercely. I am not in a having lodgings. This is an intrusion. I will have them turned out. I wonder who will help me. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I will not have Mr. Jackson. He never wipes his feet. Mrs. Tittlemouse decided to leave the bees till after dinner. When she got back to the parlor, she heard someone coughing in a fat voice. And there sat Mr. Jackson himself. Good day.
He was sitting?
He was sitting all over a small rocking chair, twiddling his thumbs and smiling with his feet on the fender. He lived in a drain below the hedge, in a very dirty, wet ditch. How do you do, Mr. Jackson? Dearie me, you have got very wet. Thank you, Mr. Tittlemouse. So do I drown myself. So he sat and smiled, and the water dripped off his coattails. Mrs. Tittlemouse went round with him up. He sat such a while that he asked if we would take some dinner. First she offered him cherry stones. Thank you, Mr. Tittlemouse. No teeth, said Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson opened his mouth unnecessarily wide. He certainly not had a tooth in his head. Then she offered him thistledown seed. Thank you, Mr. Tittlemouse. Dilly willy willy, poof poof poof. He blew the thistledown all over the room. Thank you, Mr. Tittlemouse. Now what I really should like would be a little dish of honey. I'm afraid I not got any, Mr. Jackson. Tilly willy willy, Mrs. Tittlemouse. I can smell it. That is why I came to call. Mr. Jackson rose ponderously from the table and began to look into the cupboards. Tilly willy willy. No honey, Mr. Tittlemouse. There are 3 creepy crawly people hiding in the plate rack. 2 of them got away, but the littlest one he caught. Then he squeezed into the larder. Miss Butterfly was tasting the sugar, but she flew away out of the window. Diddly willy willy, Mr. Tittlemouse, you seem to have plenty of visitors. And without any invitation, said Mrs. Thomasina Tittlemouse.
Want to see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I...
They went along the sandy passage.
Tilly willy willy. Buzz was with. He went babbling around the corner and stamped her up and put her down again. I do not like bumblebees. They are all over bristles, said Mr. Jackson, wiping his mouth with his coat sleeve. Get out, you nasty old toad, shrieked Betty Bumble. I shall go distracted, scolded Mrs. Tittlemouse. She shut herself up in the nut cellar. When Mr. Jackson pulled out the bee's nest, he seemed to have no objection to stings. She ventured to come out. Everybody had gone away, but the untidiness was something dreadful. Never did I see such a mess. Smears of honey and moss and thistledown and marks of big and little dirty feet all over my nice clean house. She gathered up the moss and the remains of the beeswax. Then she went out and fetched some twigs to partly close up the front door. I will make it too small for Mr. Jackson. She fetched soft soap and flannel, a new scrubbing brush from the storeroom, but she was too tired to do any more. First she fell asleep in her rocking chair, and then she went to bed. Will it ever be tidy again, said poor Mrs. Tittlemouse. Next morning she got up very early and began a spring cleaning, which lasted a fortnight. She